Hello? Please let this be working. I can't tell if it's working because all of a sudden I got music playing in my ears instead of the show. Hello and welcome to Thursday, Fabrically Speaking Live with Claire Rowley. I'm your host and I'm a little bit off because I had so many problems. We're one camera shy today and looks like I'm frozen. Oh my goodness, this is so awful. Let me see. I no longer have two cameras, which is great. This is bizarre. Oh, come on. Transition. That one's working. Come on, cameras. Please don't do this to me. This is my last chance trying today, and I'm going to have to cancel. You can hear me? Well, I can't, but you can. And that's better than nobody hearing. Just for some reason, I'm not seeing the show like you guys must be. It's so weird today. Oh, gosh. I can hear now. Yay. It was really loud. So, definitely microphone. Cancel the show, you guys. I'm here. Well, it sounded like the microphone got better there, so we'll see. If I can get this camera going, otherwise it's kind of silly. I have one camera working right now. I'm definitely beyond frustrated. This is probably the most frustrated I've ever been. This is a Windows conflict is what's going on. So it keeps trying to take over my camera. But I'm moving. Windows. Let me try. Deactivate and activate. Oh, good. I think I got it working, you guys. Am I moving? Can you see me? And it looks like I'm having issues because I see the what a day. Hello, everybody. If you can see and hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? And yeah, it looks like it's this internet issue too. Oh, the joys of going live, which is why I've decided not to make a whole scarf today, but let's play around with Minky and figure out the best ways to handle it. And I think I'll record an actual scarf video and have that as a full-on instructional video since we're an hour behind schedule. There's different kinds of Minky, and you can thank the topic of today's show to Jessica, who I don't know if you're in here. She has children and things that make it difficult for her to watch live, but she catches us on the replay. I'm in slow motion. Oh my goodness. I did everything. Turned everything off and on again. Hi, Picola. Hi, Wendy. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what. I bought this and I want to make a scarf out of it really bad. Isn't this beautiful? I would show you on the top camera, but that one just has never really been a problem and it refuses to come on today. So I'll let you look on the close-up camera and see how luscious this is, and I'll discuss these different fabrics with you. So this, as you can see, is kind of a teal and black, very, very subtle teal. Ugh, it's luscious. Now, some minkies are two-sided. I could make a scarf out of this by just cutting it and just figuring out how to finish the edge. But I also thought it'd be kind of neat to create a minky scarf that is more than one minky and make long strips of it, and then make it into a scarf. I don't have any of this color, but I'm thinking I'm going to go to the store and see if I can get it. But I was told that a lot of you are not able to get the minky that's double-sided like this, where it looks good on both sides. Have you guys had difficulty finding minky that is pretty on both sides? I think I still have the volume a little loud. Don't want to hurt any of your ears. And I had this for you dog lovers. This was one I bought to make Tinkerbell a bed. But, you know, it would be fun to have a scarf for dog walking that has dogs on it. There's lots of different scarf ideas. Okay. I feel like I need a minute. Just kind of go. So I have a pile of minky. I was all ready to start, and I was going to have one made before I went live. On all the cameras and poof. So sometimes I wonder if I'm being told not to have the show anymore. What do you think? This one my friend Terry convinced me to buy. And by the way, normally there's batting floating in the air. Today there is minky. And I'm thinking this would be a pretty scarf. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh. Now we're streaming. Having streaming issues. I said the word poof and then it stopped. So this is a single-sided one where one side's minky and the other side is not very attractive at all. And you have to sew these face to face and then turn them right side out. And the challenge is to get all these little furry tips going against furry tips to not shift on you, making it nearly impossible to sew them together. So I'm thinking I have the best option to make something cute is to use this pink with this. And if Chase goes over there, he's going to have a minky pile to lay on. I can't show you the top, but you can see it from here. So I think it really is a pretty color. This, like a magenta fuchsia. This would be good for me to wear when I'm walking the dog. I can do that. So I'm gonna take and, having not made one, by the way, I just know the science of how fabrics behave with one another. And this is very similar to velvet. So if you've ever had difficulty sewing velvet, this will benefit you. No, you don't want me to stop the show? Sorry for being gone for a few weeks. Did have family issues, and Tinkerbell has gone over on the show, and so I just got a little emotional. So here we go. Cutting this is interesting as well. Like most fabric that don't stretch and ways that do. And so creating the scarf will be sewing on the ways that do stretch. And while I have had a tape that you can tape on and stick off, we're currently don't have that available. Still don't know when we're going to have that. We need funding in order to do that. Any way you can help us out. We have a coupon running right now called Fabricly, just like the show is called. 15% off till midnight tomorrow night. I think I'm going to do that every week on Thursday when I go live. I'll have a coupon for you guys. So before I cut this, and to make it easier to sew, if I fuse some of our Holdlight, and I heard that I disappeared for a second. Sorry about that. I will try to remember what I was saying each time the internet goes down. Oh, I can't go restarting the internet again. This is why I feel like I need to do a real video of this, because this is just not fair to you guys. No. Somebody just tried to call me. Okay. In here, I should. This is what I get for not going live for 3 weeks. Remember, there's some wonderful things that you may want to get for your Christmas presents to give yourself or anyone else that you know that loves to sew. And we have the bobbins collections and the fabric pressers. I am caught up. I don't have any pressers on order right now. So it's a good time to order one, as I am the one that makes it. I may have to step away. Really? I don't have my Holdlight in here. We sold out of Holdlight, but don't worry, we got it back in. So I think I sold some of mine to someone who was desperate for it. And I can't put you on that. So let's see. I'll have you look at this while I run. And there's a tack on my machine. Maybe those of you who were on the VIP can share with everyone what this tack is for on my machine, to give them something to talk about while I grab some Holdlight. And this is what it does. It allows you to sew in circles. So I plan to show that on another episode. Come up with an actual pattern for you guys or project so you know what to use it for. And that is done with the Octi hoops. And when I sew that, you let go of the hoop. So if you've ever felt like you can't do free motion because you're uncoordinated or think you are, this was done without holding on. So I think you guys can handle that. Not hearing myself again. I'm really winded today. I think it's the stress. I don't know. This is another really great project to make for gifts. If you're thinking about making Christmas presents, that's where my mind's at. Fabric Loose. This is a stupendous stitching book and a great thing to learn all of the stitch patterns on your machine. We have the Creative Heat video. I'm not supposed to be selling. I'm just trying to get underneath. Before cutting Minky, I'm going to iron our Holdlight to it. And this will lock the bias and stop the Minky from floating in the air. I wish I had an open one. Now this is 27 inches wide when you get it. So I can cut a strip of this and iron it in place and not have to completely open it up. So you don't need to cut this as wide as the fabric is. You just need to cut it for the cutting edge. Everything I say is funny to me today. Now this is a 10-foot long flat fold of the Holdlight. If I cut it this way, I would end up with a long, narrow strip, but this isn't all straight. So I would end up with varying widths. So I'm just going to do it so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I would show you top view, but the top view camera has taken a nap for today. Sure hope so. I hope I can get it to wake up. Didn't I just have my rotary cutter? Did I carry off my rotary cutter, Amy? Is Amy back? Pop. So take the time to kind of pull this, because you can adjust these to slide the layers in. We usually do a better job than this of getting them lined up with each other. Sometimes the winding device doesn't feed it off straight, so I have no idea what I do with my rotary cutter, my other one. The one that has a good blade. All right, so this is 27 inches by 10 feet. So that means this is a 10-foot long strip that I can iron on to the Minky. And normally you can't iron on Minky because it melts it. But Holdlight doesn't require a high temperature on your iron. But it does require an iron. So I could swear I had that on that rotary cutter in my hand. Now this is a permanent stabilizer, but we're going to use a straight stitch for this. And after I sew the straight stitch, I can just peel off the Holdlight, leaving just the straight stitch. I'm going to think about it. Should I iron this to the right side of the fabric or the wrong side of the fabric? When am I going to rip it off? That sounds funny. So I'm going to tear it off after I've sewn right sides and flip it back out, right? So if right sides are together, I think on the wrong side is what I want to do, and then pull it off. Pretty sure I'm right. You were changing the baby. Are you bragging? You baby bragging? This is a good size scarf, I think. What do you think? I may as well get more Minky on me. I think this would be kind of neat too to maybe make a shawl, a Minky shawl pattern. Because sometimes you need a little bit more warmth. And I was also thinking about making a Minky hat scarf combination so that if you're walking the dog like I do, if this scarf slips, it can't fall off because it's on your head. So if you like any of these ideas, please give me a thumbs up or tell me which one you would like the most. And I will make a pattern, and I'm going to go a little bit further with the designing because I can with the creative feet. So much fuzz. All right, it is such a bad cut. Let's try to make it a little straighter. Not sure when I cut this way. There we go. Ugh. Don't worry, I'm not throwing it away. I have a fabric bag of clips like that. Shiny side to the iron on the Holdlight, which sounds a little bit like plastic wrap. So the non-shiny side is the fusible, and it's not really fusible. It's a secret. Oh, there goes a bunch of the Minky. I didn't see it. And I'm going to put this inside the edge of the cut that I made. And I had the wrong side facing up. It's something to do with my brain. My brain does not like the idea of shiny side to the iron. But that is the correct one. And see how barely I had to iron that? And it's now locking the stretch and the fuzzies underneath that fuse. It is not adhesive. It's not an adhesive, so you don't have to worry about ruining this. This is also great for drafting patterns. And if you've ever wanted to cut into, or ever have cut into taffeta, and watched after you cut your taffeta, it start to fall apart. This you can iron on to your taffeta before you cut your pattern pieces out, and it will lock all that taffeta in place, just as it's going to lock the Minky in place. I need to eat. Oh, I'm looking forward to when the internet gremlins take a vacation from my studio. And for those of you interested in an update on my novel, I have finished the novel and the Kindle version is up on Kindle. It is called Beyond the Brushstrokes. If you don't have a Kindle device, you still can read Kindle books. All you need to do is download the Kindle app. And they have a Kindle app for your iPhone, Android, your computer. They're all free apps because they want you to buy the books. But this is one of the most fraying of all the Minkies because it is a what I call double-sided, where you can see the print on both sides. Maybe one side is not as colorful as the other. Would have been a good idea to roll this up. So you don't want to put it on the edges first because it's harder to cut and line up your Holdlight right on the edge of the fabric. So I'm going to waste a little bit of the fabric. However, I don't have to waste it. I can use that for fringe. If I can save from wasting, I do. All right. There's only one spot, and it was at the fold where I feel like I don't have a nice press on there. And now what was really stretchy is locked, just like a regular woven material. But before you cut that, you'd want to do the other side. So how wide is this scarf going to be? I have no idea. It's just easier with a big ironing board for sure. What would be awesome? I lost track of the chat. Do you guys see the fuzzies on my sweater? I should have worn a light color sweater today. And are you enjoying this sweater weather? I am. I didn't wait for you because you're taking too long to type, which means either you're not at your computers anymore or I'm freezing and I'm not aware of it. I I hope I'm not freezing all the way through this, because that would be a bummer. It looks like it's kind of spotty. Such a bummer that the equipment and the internet is not being supportive. I know that I paused for a while, so I'm going to try to catch up. If the internet gets too glitchy, I'm just going to get off of here and record this and then share it with you. You've been trying to sign in for 20 minutes, Ellen? Well, you know what? You didn't miss much, because I had all kinds of problems, so I tried to start at 2 and all of the cameras were, everything was good to go, and then all of them shut down and one of them never came back online. So, while you're sick, Ellen? Bummer. So I could have just done one strip the size of the scarf, because it's not that wide of an item. But now I can cut through the Holdlight and the scarf will not fray. You could do that with scissors or with a rotary cutter. I'm going to try to line up the edges of my stabilizer. Feels so weird when I'm not talking. I have a really big rotary cutter that can go through all these layers. I'm not seeing it. Did I drop it? So I don't think this cutter can go through that many layers, which means I need to position so I can have it be longer, so I'm not hearing myself again. Oh, good. I'm back. At least I can hear myself, so I know when it goes dead. This is not fun at all. Come on, internet. Still too wide. All right. I should have just cut the fabric smaller to begin with to make it easier on myself. So the goal is to end up with what you want. And I should probably use one of my larger rulers for this. Let's stay along the edge of that. Cut one side at least so I know one side is straight. So what is on your sewing table? I need to change the subject from myself. You're hearing me all the time, but the picture's choppy? Okay, good. If you're new to me, normally I do a better job than this. And this is partly why I have a school, and I am going to be doing more smaller courses in the school. Show you part on the show and then finish it up in the school if you want to learn the entire process. So you can see that I now have a really nice straight edge and it's a non-stretchable edge there. So I think what I'm going to do, instead of making the whole scarf is I'm going to make a small version, just kind of show you the sewing, how it sews. And I'm going to do a recorded video for this. Being all ready to start with it shouldn't take me as long. This is what you end up having issues with. Simply cannot push myself further than I want to, or as far as I'd like to. Yeah, we have a much longer delay than normal today. Even though I did all of the things I'm supposed to do to make that not happen. So now I'm going to take and sew that to this, which is a fluffier on one side and not fluffy on that side. So we're going to put two different types of Minky together. And by fusing the Holdlight on before cutting, you can see how nice and clean that cut is and how it's not covered in fuzzies. I'm going to sew right sides together, so that's really, really high nap, and take this really high nap and apply them to one another. Remove this tack. And that was from the VIP Live, showing you how to use a tack and tape to sew perfect circles using the Sequins and ribbon foot and the octi hoops. Minky is a really thick fabric, and we could use the Satinedge foot to help us guide, but the Satinedge foot's going to want to lean to the side like that. What do you do to offset the foot tipping to one side? Anyone know what I usually do? I'm not sure I'm even going to have enough to do the giveaway today. Now, to get these fabrics to behave as one, I could use my liquid base glue. Where is it? Why is that not where it belongs? Oh my goodness. What happened to my glue? I'm losing it, you guys. I think I already lost it. I'm sure one of you have already said that. Where is the glue? I just used it on the VIP. Tell ya. Doing a VIP right before doing a live. I know. There's some of you going, don't blame it on us. If you are one of the VIPs and you're wondering why I haven't posted the episode from Tuesday, I will be doing that soon. I'm going to edit a little bit out of it. And so this, for those of you who don't know about it, is our water-soluble stabilizer in a bottle. And I think I left it open too long, which is no big deal. It doesn't get hard inside if you do that. All that fabric. Crazy crafting. And make a crutch. Oh, yay. Brenda has the name. A crutch is what? So do a little dot. Now, this is a really fluffy fabric. And when you put glue on the top of the fibers, you are only putting it on the very top. And we don't want to have it sink in. So very, very lightly graze your finger over the top. Try not to push down at all. And then you can lay your other Minky on top. And very lightly, once again, hold them on. And don't push. And don't be impatient. Wait for it to dry. Of course I won't, because we don't have time for all that here. So what foot do you think I should use for this? Sequins and ribbon, satin edge, or pearls and piping? Which foot is best for this? Very good, Brenda. You know exactly how to describe a crutch. Figure I should do more than one little piece so that you get how well it worked. What is that? I ironed a little wonky right there. Dot, dot, dot. About every inch and a half, 2 inches is what I'm doing, a little dot of this, and then sliding it, making sure I don't push it in. And then very lightly. Kind of like you're petting someone and they have a owie, so you don't want to push really hard. Think of it as a child. It has a Band-Aid, and you just want to make sure the Band-Aid is touching, but you don't want to hurt the child. That's how lightly you touch it. I recently used the correct foot on another project, the fabric bowls, recently, and we were sewing thick fabrics like this together. Brenda, you guessed all 3 feet? That's cheating. No, you didn't. You got 2 feet. All right, so I should wait for it to dry, but I'm not. And you can see that it is holding these fabrics together well enough to stitch them out. And where my brain really wants to use the Satinedge foot because it helps you guide straight. I'm going to do use both feet so we can see which one works best. And this is a crutch. And basically you can have a crutch that has different, you know, just like this, but you can also use the exact same fabrics that you're sewing together and have them so you know the height is exact. I think this will be adequate. So I'm going to sew a little bit with the Satinedge, and then we'll switch to the pearls and piping. And I wish I had a little bit more time to talk this morning with Jessica to determine exactly what issue she was having. But she did mention this, that she was using the Satinedge foot, but it wouldn't stay level. So you take and place it to the side of the Satinedge foot, and that keeps it from tipping. And then you can move the guiding needle the distance you want your seam allowance to be. My sweater looks like it was snowing Minky. So I've moved my needle to the left, and the guide is off the edge of the Minky, and I can't see it because it's so fluffy. Oh, I'm finally sewing. And now what? Watch and see. Oh, I know why. I'm remembering our conversation. So this is good for this part. I want you to see how that fabric is just being a crutch for the guide, helping it stay straight. We don't want to stretch this fabric at all. This is a really a normal stitch length of 2.5. I can lengthen it whenever your fabric is longer and thicker. I mean, the sewing machine has to form a stitch. It has to come through and bend over the thickness. So you want to use a longer stitch length so it has a better chance of actually forming a stitch. You'll be less likely to skip stitches and have your thread shred above the eye of the needle. Where there is a stretch needle, you don't really have a universal tip or rounded tip, light ball point, or you could use the SUK needle, also known as the, sorry, this was stopping the fabric from feeding. It got in the way. So now I need to, it's a little bit, so it's having a little bit of an issue going through here. Maybe my pressure needs to be a little bit tighter. Let's try a little more. Remember, I've sewn with Minky, but I'm trying to make sure that I have the right answers. So I went to 1 on my pressure, and that helped a little bit. I don't like ever to pull from behind the foot. But sometimes the fuzzies themselves will get stuck on the bar. So now I'm going to stop using the Satinedge Foot and change to the pearls and piping. And this is the Creative Feet Pearls and Piping Foot, which has this slider. And what the slider does is it changes the position of your needle. So if I have my needle in the center and I put it on like this, then the needle is on the center. But if I move the washer over, it kind of pushes my needle position over. So I'm going to have the guide that be all the way to the right. And I usually would use this for the second step. I'm just trying it out. See if it works good for this too. The tunnel on the foot loves fluffy things. And this, because it's so fluffy, gets like up in the tunnel. So, but it's a little bit harder to sew straight with it. Satinedge definitely is more consistent for the seam allowance. Now the next step is to turn it right side out and stitch on the top. I wish she was in the chat so she could answer. So yeah, definitely for the first part, Satinedge is better. It's the second phase that the pearls and piping foot comes into play. Ah, the Satinedge foot is like a crutch for me. Making sure that I sew more accurate seam allowances. Feeling the desire to pull increases stitch length. Take it to 4.5 on my stitch length. Yeah, so the 4.5 stitch length was better. But I'm using a really thick Minky here, you guys. Darn it. I've been quiet for a little bit. Definitely having all kinds of issues. The program keeps showing me that we're dropping a lot. So delayed. So now you see how puffy that is? I take this and do it, make it so that the stitching goes to one side. I'm going to do a top stitch. I believe this is the part that she was having the most difficulty with. I know sometimes people actually restart their routers in the middle going live and it stays, but I have never had that success. So both seam allowances are pushed to this side, which makes a bump. Makes like a little piping almost in there. And we want to pull, we can pull this away now so that it's not in the seam. We don't want to have that. It's a permanent stabilizer if it were to be in there. See how it just tears off? So we're pulling this off. There's barely anyone watching. It's been so glitchy. All right. So we wouldn't want to leave anything in there. If we did, it would just stay because it doesn't wash out. But you can see that it made it so that those fabrics did not conflict with one another, eliminating the need for a walking foot, which a lot of times people call for walking feet on fabrics like this. I don't like a walking foot for most cases because when you have a walking foot, it makes it so you have too much freedom. You're able to, it's harder to maintain a straight stitch. This is the Holdlight stabilizer. This one. So when you go to creativefeet.com, look for the hummingbird. That's the one you want. Want to make sure that your seam allowances both go the same direction. And now I can top stitch with the pearls and piping foot. I'm attacked by fuzzies. Hi Brenda, hi Picola, hi Wendy, hi Amy Better Days, hi Ellen, Tina. Did I say Brenda? Crazy Crafting, I'm not sure your name. I try to remember, but struggle with names. Scrolling back. Sorry for the late start. Sorry for the restart, you guys. So both seam allowances are pressed to the same direction. And because of the thickness, it's not a 1/4 inch over where those edges meet. So I want to bring my needle to center. And it's going to go right along that edge. You probably won't even be able to see it. I'm going to lengthen my length all the way to 5 for this. So what I'm concerned about is keeping the edges, both edges pointing to that side. The foot's going to feel that I won't have to worry about guiding that at all. And see how it just takes it in beautifully. The two fabrics are secured to one another. Notice my hands aren't here, they're over here. And I'm looking to make sure that the bump stays on that side. Pearls and Piping Foot loves sewing over bumpy things. So it's a perfect match for the glue in the wrong spot. Yep. Make sure the glue is not keeping things from being laying out the way they should. Want me to try the Satinedge for a little and compare the two? But you can't see the stitch because it's so fluffy, but it is there, holding those two together. There's so many things we could do with this, you guys, but not on a day when the internet is this intermittent. I'm covered in fuzz. Other things that we can do is you can sew a seam with yarn. So I thought I might show you how you can incorporate yarn. And this is a chenille yarn, which is also equally fuzzy. And you should be able to find a lot of different types of chenille yarn in Joann's or Hobby Lobby, anywhere where they sell yarn. It's got the same feeling as Minky fabric. Just got to find the end. This went rolling on the floor today. Is it getting better? Nope, it's still freezing. Darn it. I'm yarn challenged. Those of you who knit would probably close your eyes and shake your head seeing how I handle my yarns. I didn't sew the other part. I got to do that. Thank you for reminding me. I'm so stressed because of it's glitchy. I never know how I freeze, what expression I have on my face when I freeze. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish what I was doing, which you are right, I forgot to top stitch with the Satinedge for this part. Switching cameras. Take this off. And this is where, there we go. Not really knowing what kind of Minky you'll be using makes this a little bit more challenging. And this fuzzy needs to stay on that side. There we go. Once again, making sure those seam allowances stay together and point in that direction so that the Satinedge foot can also feel the edge. They both seem to be doing really well for this. The only issue, excuse me, I got the hiccups. The only issue with the Satinedge foot on Minky furry stuff like this is it make get caught on the little toe that crosses the needle opening. So you just want to keep an eye on that. Like you might be able to hear that I didn't remove all the Holdlight, so it's stitching through it. But there's just a tiny bit in there. And this is the stretchy way of the fabric, by the way, you guys. So there's absolutely zero puckering on that. Everything is beautiful. So to make it even less likely that you have fraying or have them interfere is to fuse both fabrics and bring them together. But I did it without, and it worked really well. What else can I test? So let's do the Sequins and ribbon foot and try it out for a different kind of way to sew them together. Because I feel like I'm not freezing as much, or am I? Let's see. This looks like it's going to be a small person scarf. You know that I've been doing this with 2 threads through the eye of 1 needle all this time. I can remove this one. How funny. It's a waste of thread. And if you're wondering why I had 2 threads through the eye of 1 needle, it was because of what I was doing with it. Let's see. This could be interesting. Say we want to sew a small scarf and we don't want to have to turn it right side out. This is me playing live. Probably shouldn't. Now that's not going to look good on that side. Maybe if I use a straight stitch. Just had to think that through. I'm not freezing as much. All right, I'll go a little bit longer. Now this is without any stabilizer, just the Creative Feet Satinedge foot. See how it does? I have the one that's furrier on top and the one that's not on the bottom. And I'm not using the liquid base glue. So we'll see how well this goes. Left needle position, length. I have the length at 4. Now my concern is it might get caught in there. So this is a time when you can use the presser to kind of help keep the fur from getting stuck. Now that's easier if you have it glued together, because now I have to watch to make sure the fabrics are maintained. Barely touching. My hands are not pushing down at all. Very prepared to touch. Kind of helicoptering. Let the sewing machine do the feeding. This definitely is making it easier. And I'm not really pushing down on this, just trying to keep the fur from getting stuck. This is the Tropic Jungle color, if you are wondering which one it is. It's a pretty one. And like I had mentioned, today is November 17th, 2022. And I did not cut this straight, but I'm going to try to make it look like I'm just going to go all the way down, even though it's not proportional. And it was simply because I didn't want to waste the video, waste the preparation that I did on a video that you guys can't see. And I will film this over again and edit. This is definitely much easier with the presser. I'm not having to worry about seeing as well. All right, that's enough. Turn it right side out. November 17th. It's almost Thanksgiving time, you guys. Are you guys ready for Thanksgiving? I will not be live on Thanksgiving unless I decide to pop in and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. You know what this would be good for? Stuffing with sand and putting in front of your door to keep the cold air from coming in. So, no puckering at all. Two different types of Minky. Got another piece. What can I sew it to? All right, let's try a little sequins and ribbon and yarn, and then this is an ideal method that you can do with wrong sides together and skip the flip. Ah. You have no sound now? Did the microphone go off? Frozen. In my back, that was a long freeze. So you could do a strip of Minky on top of another Minky. Pretty cool. I forgot which camera was hot. So fuzzy. Feel like I have a beard of fuzz. Sequins. That was a long pause. Just to know that I was quiet and waiting. I was watching, able to see that I was frozen for a long time. So I didn't say anything during that frozen period. I'm using the Sequins and Ribbon Foot with the 1/4 inch guide, which it comes attached with. I am so covered, you guys. Take a piece of thread, lay your yarn over it. And then we're going to take this through the opening. If you haven't joined my school, and now I do have, my school is just createwithclairerowley.com. You don't have to worry about all those dots that I usually say. Create with Claire Rowley takes you to my school. It's free to join the Create with Claire Rowley school. There are some paid courses in there as well, as it is a platform where you can get to know everybody, and there is some free content in there as well. Now I'm going to use the straight stitch and show you that first. What's weird? Yeah, if I made Chase a scarf, I think I'd use blue because he's a boy. I want to keep the yarn on top of that fabric. Center needle, a little bit over. Are you moving? Oh, wrong button. And I will tell you my settings once I figure them out. So I'm using make sure it's all under the foot. It's a little hard to keep it on there. I shouldn't have made it center needle position. Should have left it on left. So it looks like I did an applique stitch, and it's just a straight stitch. Want to make sure you keep it on that piece that we're stitching down, which could be held down by the liquid-based glue to make it easier. And now I'm going to do a decorative stitch of sorts. What stitch? Not a blanket stitch for sure. The shell tuck stitch would be the better one. I usually can find it right away. Where's the shell tuck? Is this it? Nope. I would show you if I could which stitch. Just look in your manual for a stitch called shell tuck. Why can't I find it? There it is. And the shell tuck stitch runs a straight stitch, and then it goes over and comes back. And instead of going forward and reverse, any stitch that zigzags and moves in a front moving direction without moving backward as well is fine. And we don't have the Satinedge guide wire to worry about. So we can adjust the guide so that the needle is swinging where we want it. And I'm going to increase my stitch width. This foot allows you to go all the way and utilize all widths of stitches. There's nothing that can get struck by it. The needle, or the needle can't strike anything. Let's go longer. Oh, Carlene was here? I didn't see her. Hi and bye. So it's moving forward and then going over, and this is the sequins and ribbon foot. So we're attaching this while stitching that to that at the same time. And this Minky is just taking it in beautifully, so no walking foot required. The sequins and ribbon foot and some yarn, and you can join fabrics together to create unique Minky scarves without having to struggle with it. This is without any stabilizing as well. See how neat? Okay. All right, I have given it all I could today on this glitchy of glitchy days. This is, I think, a really cool method of making a Minky scarf without having it just be one color. And I really want to get just a black Minky to work with this one, so I can make myself a scarf with this. And I'm pretty sure I have some. Another plan I have is to incorporate fur inside of the little hood. And this is a something you would find in the, I think, the upholstery area. I don't know. I'll have to look because I don't have enough to make a hood. But I was thinking that it would be really nice to have it be fur lined in the hood part and then have the scarf come out from there. What do you think? Do you think that's a good idea? And it's a lot for me to come up with the questions for the giveaway, but I promised. And just so you know, the Creative Feet Extensive course is about to open in December. So if you've been on the fence and waiting, the price will go up in December. And I will start now that my novel is done, which was partly slowing me down from launching the Creative Feet Extensive. If you're interested in the novel, it is inside of the school as well. There's a group called Beyond the Brushstrokes in there where you can stay in touch with me. And at this point, we're offering a special readers, as I mentioned, November 17th of 2022. Just be sure to join the school. It's free to join, and you can join the Beyond the Brushstrokes group for free. And I will... So what did we do today? We sewed with what? What is the biggest issue with sewing Minky fabric? One is the fuzz is just unbearable nearly. But the benefit is just so worth it. It's great for use for stuffed animals too. And I really think I'm going to make myself under the door sandbags, which you would do using something inside to keep this. That could be another project, huh? I could make a special one. I just feel so open time to come up with some more projects for you. So trying to come up with a giveaway question. Stuffed animal with this, or are you going to have to cram stuffing in there? The Minky will stretch on your thread, thread. So you want to make sure that if you're going to make a stuffy out of it, that you use lingerie thread, at least in the bobbin, if not in both. There's two ways that you can stop the fabric from stretching while you sew it. I used two of them today. Which two methods did I use to keep the fabric from stretching types of Minky together without it having a problem? And I'm now waiting for you guys to answer. Whoever answers first, and that's two things, two ways I made the fabric stay together. I cannot wait to wash off all the Minky fuzz. I never got to see what you guys had on your sewing table. I know the sound never went away, so those of you having sound issues, it's not related to this, because I can hear in my ear what you guys... So I did two different things to hold the fabrics together. What two methods, what two things did I do to get this to behave so that they would sew together without shifting and stretching and conflicting with one another. Two things. I just did it. Don't you remember what I did? Ellen got it. Ellen got both. And use the right names. So Crazy Crafting, I still don't know your name. You might have said it and I didn't get to read it because my eyes were on the sewing. So she was correct as well. We got glue and fusible. And both of you didn't say the name of both. So whoever says the names of both first, of the both names, Holdlight and blah blah and blah blah, and I feel like it's not fair. I feel like I should give it to both of you. This is kind of like a tie. How can I break the tie? What did I say today that you wouldn't know if you weren't watching? I am so hungry. I didn't have lunch. It's too glitchy. Bye, Tina. Actually, it's just going to go to the first person that said both. And that was Crazy Crafting. And I don't know your name. So in order for you to get this, you need to email me or reach out in the school so that I can give you access to the Babbling Brook course, which is my course on fiber art inside of the school. So I am so crazy making it official at Crazy Crafting. I hope you enjoyed watching this glitchy Fabrically Speaking live. That's Lorinda. Hi, Lorinda. I like your little icon, the thread. That's so cute. All right, well, Lorinda, you won the course, the Babbling Brook course. So inside the school, you needed the YouTube so that I can give you access to that course. And anything else I need to say? Thank you for being patient with me as I took 3 weeks off. I'm back. I will not be here for Thanksgiving, though. As I mentioned, I don't know if Thanksgiving's next week, but it kind of feels like everyone keeps saying it. Is it? Is it next week, Thanksgiving? Did it happen? Did it creep up on me that quick? It's so shocking how fast the years go by. If you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel and you're still watching, it is not November 17th, then you're watching the replay. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and join Create with Claire Rowley at createwithclairerowley.com, or you can just sign up for my newsletter at creativefeet.com. I'll give you my email or my websites. We have coupon running this Thursday, running now till midnight tomorrow. So the coupon is Fabrically, spelt like that, all uppercase. No other coupon will work. Enter the coupon or you don't get the discount. And it's 15% off. The school is and when you go, you can find out more about my novel. ClaireRowley.com. I have too many websites. I also have Facebook groups. So inside of Facebook, search for Claire Rowley. You'll find like 7 different